Have you ever caught yourself running the same loop, attracting the same kind of person, hitting the same invisible ceiling, feeling like no matter how hard you try, something underneath just refuses to move? Like you're pushing a door that's locked from the inside, and you can't even find the keyhole. That feeling, that specific kind of stuck, it's not a character flaw, it's not bad luck, and it's definitely not random. What's actually happening is that your story, your nervous system, your identity, and your frequency are all pointing at the same old target. And until you shift the root of those things, not just your thoughts, not just your affirmations, but the actual architecture underneath, nothing changes on the outside in any lasting way. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a 5-part framework that completely rewrites the way you experience reality. Not from the surface, from the inside out. My name is Daniel Moreno, and I want to start with something that genuinely changed the way I see everything, including myself. And that is the idea that your beliefs don't just color your reality, they literally construct it. You cannot perceive something you have no reference for. Sounds wild, right? But think about it. If you've spent years believing you are fundamentally unworthy, not consciously, not in a way you'd write in a journal, but quietly, in the background of every decision, every relationship, every risk you didn't take, then that belief is your filter. It's the lens. And whatever comes through that lens looks exactly like proof that the belief is true. That's not spiritual theory. That's how the nervous system actually operates. So the first step in this framework, and I'm going to call it by a letter because this thing has a name. It's called the SHIFT framework. The S stands for story. This is where you get ruthlessly honest about the narrative you've been running. Not the story you'd tell at dinner, but the core operating belief underneath it. Things like, I can't trust people. I'm not worthy of real love. If I let my guard down, I'll be abandoned. These are the 3 main buckets, by the way: trust, worthiness, and abandonment. Almost every repeating pattern in someone's life can be traced back to one of those 3. And when you start to see that, something enormous shifts. Because here's the thing, you are not your pattern. Let me say that again because it matters. You are not your pattern. You have patterns. You have beliefs. You have old responses wired into your nervous system, but none of those things are you. I remember when this actually landed for me, and I mean landed, not just intellectually understood, but felt in the body. I was around 2012, going through what I can only describe as a complete unraveling. I started meditating seriously for the first time, and within a few weeks, I noticed something strange. I wasn't trying to control my thoughts anymore. I was just watching them. And in that watching, there was this quiet space, a spaciousness I hadn't felt since I was a kid, maybe ever. And from that space, I started seeing patterns I'd never recognized before. Like the fact that my manager at the time was controlling and untouchable, protected from above, could do whatever she wanted, and how eerily familiar that felt. Because it was the exact dynamic I grew up inside of. Same energy, different body, different decade. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Now here's where the framework moves from S into H, and H stands for heal. This is not about talking yourself out of something. This is not a mindset shift or a gratitude list. Healing at this level means going into the nervous system and feeling what's actually there, the energy underneath the pattern, the emotion that the pattern has been protecting you from feeling. Because that's what a pattern is, right? It's a protection mechanism. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. These are survival responses, not personality traits. And underneath each one is an emotion that never got to complete its circuit, never got to move through and out. For me, one of the patterns I carried for years was people-pleasing. And on the surface, it looked like kindness. And honestly, sometimes I convinced myself it was kindness, which is its own kind of self-deception, right? At least I can laugh about it now. But underneath it was this terror of tension. This deep belief that if I took up too much space, if I said the wrong thing or pushed back or showed up as the real me, something would break. Someone would leave. And so, I kept shrinking. The moment I stopped managing everyone else's emotional comfort and started letting myself be seen, actually seen, not the version I'd curated for approval, something cracked open. That's the healing. Not fixing, not forcing, just finally allowing what's been buried to come up into the light. And there's a practical piece here that I want to give you before we move on. Put your phone background as a photo of you as a child, not as a cute aesthetic thing, as a daily practice of seeing, hearing, and acknowledging that part of you. Because so much of this inner work is about that young version of you finally getting the acknowledgement it was always reaching for. You're not trying to fix them, you're just witnessing them. And that act alone, the act of witnessing, starts to move energy that's been frozen for decades. All right, so we've got S and H, story and healing. Now let's take this to the next level, because I personally think this is the most underrated part of the entire framework, and that's the I, identity. Not who you perform, not the role you've been playing since you were 9 years old, figuring out who you had to be to get love from mom or dad, but who you actually are underneath all of that. Here's a question that completely restructured the way I see myself and the people I work with. Whose love did you crave more as a kid? Your mother's or your father's? And then, who did you have to become to get it? Because whatever your answer is to that second question, that's probably the role that's been running your life on autopilot. The good kid, the responsible one, the one who stays small and doesn't make waves. The overachiever who ties their entire sense of worth to productivity. That role isn't your identity. It's a costume you put on so young you forgot you were wearing it. I went through something called family constellation work a few years back. It's a German therapeutic process where strangers literally embody the energy of people in your family system, people you've never even described to them in detail, and they start playing out dynamics you recognize immediately. It sounds completely unhinged, I know. I promise I'm a mostly normal person. But in that room, I watched someone represent my mother, who had already passed by the time I did this. And when I walked toward her energy in that space, something released in my body that I had been carrying for years without a name for it. That's what identity work at this depth actually feels like. It's not intellectual, it's somatic. It moves in you. And when the identity shifts, when you actually stop seeing yourself as the person who struggles with money, or who always ends up abandoned, or who can never quite break through, reality has no choice but to rearrange, because you can only experience what matches your self-image. That's not a metaphor, that's the mechanism. The outer world is always a reflection of the inner one. So we move from I into F, frequency. And this is where things get interesting, because frequency isn't about manufactured positivity or pretending everything is fine. Frequency is about where you're genuinely operating from, what's normal for you, what you expect, what you're in resonance with. When something is truly on your frequency, it doesn't feel like a far-off dream you're grasping for. It feels like yours already. There's no pedestal, no desperation, no craning your neck to see if it's coming yet. It just feels like the next logical thing. And the way you get there, really get there, not just say you're there, is through expression. This is the piece most people completely skip. They do the inner work in their head. They listen to videos like this one, which, hey, I'm grateful you're here. They journal, they affirm, they visualize, but they never express. They never let the new version of themselves out into the actual world. And expression is the thing that makes it real. It's the bridge between the internal shift and the external reality. For me, stepping in front of a camera the first time felt genuinely ridiculous. Not just nervous, ridiculous. Like, who am I to talk about this? What if someone from high school sees this? What will they think? And the answer that I eventually arrived at was, I choose being real over being approved of. Every single time. The expression came first. The confidence came after. That's the sequence people get backward. They wait to feel confident before they express. But confidence is actually built through the reps of expressing, right? You become it by doing it, not the other way around. And there's something deeper happening in that expression too. When you stop leading from ego, when the goal isn't to control the outcome or manage how you're perceived, but instead you're just genuinely trying to connect and add value and be present, something comes through you that's bigger than you. That sounds esoteric, I get it. But if you've ever been in flow, really in it, where time disappears and the right words just come, and you feel more like a channel than a performer, you know exactly what I'm pointing at. That's frequency. That's what living from alignment actually feels like. Which brings us to T, transformation. And transformation isn't a moment, it's a practice. It's what happens when you stop waiting for the shift to arrive and you start choosing every day to embody the version of you that's already on the other side of it. There's a 3-letter code I want to leave you with here. A, B, C. Always be choosing. Treat every moment as if you chose it. Because the second you stop seeing life as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that's happening for you, even the hard stuff, even the patterns that keep showing up, the whole game changes. The patterns stop being punishments and start being teachers. The difficult relationships stop being proof that you're broken and start being invitations to go deeper. I had a stretch not that long ago where 2 or 3 situations in my life were all pressing on the same old wound simultaneously. And for a few days, I was deep in the victim energy. Not dramatically, not consciously, but it was there. That low hum of, this isn't fair. And the moment I caught it, named it, owned it, like, okay, this is the pattern, not the truth, everything shifted. Within days. Not metaphorically shifted, actually, concretely, tangibly shifted. That's the power of choosing your identity in real time instead of defaulting to the old one. So the whole framework is this. Story, get honest about the beliefs running your life. Heal, feel what's underneath the patterns. Don't manage it, feel it. Identity, choose who you actually are, not who you had to be. Frequency, stop putting what you want on a pedestal and let it become normal. Transformation, choose it, every day, with repetition. This is the arc, this is the road. And if you've made it this far in this video, I don't think it's an accident that this landed in front of you today. The shift you're looking for isn't somewhere out there. It's already in motion. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.